Yes. Yes, bears. Welcome, we are the booth that does games.
Bears?
Ooh. Yes, Adam. Bears.
Okay, bears.
I am disturbed. What is going on here? Anyway.
A whole
Bears.
lot of silence.
Bulba's back. All right.
No. God. Even though you announced it before,
I'm gonna have to get the music from that and just put it in there.
you really are.
Please don't.
So, introductions, shall we?
I'm not introducing you. You guys suck. I'm not
Well,
even gonna
it's
introduce
fine.
me. I suck.
I'm Adam. Hi.
Yes, this is Adam
I'm
the
not hi.
Destroyer.
I'm not Adam. Hi.
Not
And
helpful.
yes, that is not Adam. I am not Adam
His name's
either.
Bubbles.
That is Bubbles, yes.
That-
It's
Yep.
Bubbles.
my Bubbles.
And then we got Sir Deep Throat on the other end over there.
I can't deep throw my microphone far enough.
Still, you might make a good prostitute.
Well,
and I am
I was gonna
Internet
say,
Personality
you know,
Kanzaki, and
should-
this
you
is Le Booth de Gaming.
Frenchie.
Moving on. Here's a fun one, and they haven't said why, but it's kind of obvious. Xbox Live is making a push to be better, quote, than PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus being one of those value systems where you give them $5 a month and they make it worth your while. What they do is they give you free games every month, they give you discounts, and Xbox Live has decided, yes, well, we counter that with 2 free games a month. Count 'em 2.
That's double the free games.
Which, they've actually been giving away good games, too. I picked up Fable 3 on this offer. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
And,
not bad.
I believe Assassin's Creed 2 is available this month. I'm
Yes,
not sure
indeed.
what the other game is, but yeah, so...
I believe it's one of the Halo games.
It's Halo 3.
Yes.
Halo
It makes
3,
me
yeah.
wonder, though, is this
Are we
going to
talking about now? Since we're recording in June, are we talking about June or are we talking about July? Because it's going to be coming out.
It's already going on.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, that's a pretty nifty thing they're doing. I'm wondering if it'll carry over into the Xbox One, though.
I am imagining that if they're introducing that as a feature, probably. Though I think that you're going to have to see.
They're
I don't know
probably
if
going to
you'll
be
see a
giving
del-
arcade games away. in the
Yeah,
beginning,
most
like
likely
small
it'll probably
things.
be arcade games that they port over to Xbox One usability at first.
Yeah. I see poker being one of the first things they give away.
Solitaire.
Yes!
Solitaire. Hearts,
See,
maybe.
No, it needs to be Full House
I
Poker.
actually, because I remember Eddie and I talked about it beforehand, but I actually had heard that it was just it was to pretty much promote the Xbox 360, and it was leading up to the Xbox One launch. So from my understanding, I thought it was just like, hey, for your Xbox 360, which is not any good because they're getting ready to launch the Xbox One.
I think that you're going to see it for the Xbox One as well. I think it's just going to be a matter of what they can put on there.
And
I-
not introduced it.
Yeah, exactly. I also think that you might see it go when it goes to the Xbox One. You might see it go from 2 games to 1, since the library for the Xbox One is smaller.
And
But
I
what-
think-
But what you may see is that you'll get 2 games on the Xbox 360 while also getting 1 game on the Xbox One for 3 games total if you own both consoles, which is a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what they do about that.
Yeah, and it would definitely be a pusher for buying an Xbox One because I'm still wondering if PlayStation Plus will continue to give away games. I'm assuming they will, just on the Gaikai service,
Eh.
which is a good way to push that.
Yeah, it is.
My only problem with it is like it's kind of late to the game now, Microsoft. I mean,
Well, it's late to the game, but at the
To be
same time,
fair, Xbox Live was better than the PlayStation Network. It
Well, that
is
and-
still better than the PlayStation Network.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Nintendo hasn't gone in on the game, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to be giving away free consoles. So
well, that's
I
because
wish.
that's because Nintendo can't sell any more consoles. Anyway, I think that it's in this case it's more a scenario of better late than never.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they are late to that particular party, I think when you combine the fact that Xbox is going with that policy shift, while PlayStation Plus is now being required to play multiplayer games on the PlayStation 4 now, you're seeing a good shifting of tactics from Microsoft to kind of help balance that out a little bit. Microsoft still has to position themselves to be as attractive as the PS4, if not more so, and I think that's kind of their appeasement to try to do that.
Yeah, and they have some time, so we'll probably be seeing more moves like this to make you forget the removal of the always online check-in DRMs and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the thing. If you got an Xbox, go get your games. They're pretty good. They're giving away good stuff. Now this story I find hilarious, and it's solely here so we can pick jokes. There's a teen in Texas who has been jailed and is looking at 8 years behind bars for a joke he told in League of Legends, and joke is in the form of sarcasm. It was funny by the way it was said, or rather what was said. Now I got a quote here of what he said. After being called insane, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm real messed up in the head. I'm gonna shoot up a school." Now see, that part right there, it's like, oh, something serious. But then he follows it up with, a school full of kids and eat their still beating hearts. Does anyone take that seriously?
No, because it's League of Legends, and people don't understand how video games on the internet work.
Yeah, I mean, because he's being prosecuted on this. The prosecutors need to be slapped.
Well, the prosecutors and lawmakers, they don't understand online culture because they're not gamers at all. If, as we said before this podcast started,
Damn crotchety old men in their
exactly.
pants.
Well, if they're crotchety pants. If I was to take the popular opinion of every person I've ever played an online game against, then I am obviously a no-talent gay kid who should uninstall every game I play.
Don't forget that your mother has been fucked by millions of 12-year-olds.
Oh, absolutely. She is just hot dog in a hallway.
She's knowing all the 12-year-olds in the entire country.
Exactly, and I think that the fact that this is being taken serious enough to prosecute a kid is possibly the stupidest thing ever.
But to be fair, this is Texas, the state that loves its execution, right?
You know, I will say, though,
and also, you know, it's also not only in Texas but also in the United States, because there's also really, I'm not going to say it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I've heard dumber.
Well, yeah, you live in Florida.
The home of the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
exactly.
I will say that I think that you're going to see a lot of people coming to the kids' defense.
That's what we're doing right here.
This is very true. I also think you're going to see a bit of an examination of how that whole law thing works, especially considering all the shit that Texas has been through lately with their other stuff, with their bill that they tried to pass and all that good stuff.
Welcome to Texas, where the votes are made up and the rules don't matter.
Basically.
So basically, you got a gigantic game of who's lying.
Whose government is it anyway?
Not ours.
Not ours.
No, that's the federal government. I'm sorry.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
federal government, government of Texas, hell, government of Florida. Now, see, this is a bit off topic, but your state, I would make it if I was president. My public works project would be to put millions of people to work with hacksaws, and I would just cut Florida and Texas and California away and just let them float. Well,
hey,
Texas wouldn't be floating, but I'd give it to the Mexicans.
I really wouldn't mind just having Florida float, because then again, that means I'd be on a floating gigantic island, and that intrigues me.
That sounds awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Just once you made it into international waters, North Korea would lay claim to you.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we have all of NASA's old stuff. We might be able to hold them off.
And you never know, you might be able to go to space.
Now, I want to ask a question there about just the thing. Wouldn't the force of blasting off force the state underwater?
Probably.
It would end the floating.
Yeah, probably.
It would cause us. Well, we're already mostly a gigantic swamp anyway, so.
Yeah, good point.
So it would be the underwater state of Florida, kind of like Atlantis.
The
but
underwater
people
state
actually
of
know about
Florida.
it.
We'll have a bubble. bubble over us, and it'll be powered by alligators.
So all you need to do is go absolutely insane, and we've got the setting for Bioshock.
Yes.
Or
I'm liking
Waterworld.
this.
That would be awesome.
Andrew Royan.
We're looking for dry land.
You will not find it.
Looking for something that doesn't have gator gumbo going on, but alright, let's do it.
That is Louisiana.
That is very much Louisiana.
Wrong
I'm
state.
insulting everybody today.
No.
Having
You're
said
on
that,
To
I
be
do
fair,
want
I'm
some
on the
gator
beach, so-
gumbo.
Or close to the beach. By the way, it took me to actually moving down to Florida to realize what a lagoon actually was. So
Wow.
yeah, I've always heard the term. I thought I knew what it meant, and then I found out what the term actually meant, and it was completely different than
And
what I
now you
thought.
feel dumb.
It's like, oh, you mean this isn't a river? This is a lagoon? What the crap?
Yeah, you should watch more TV, man.
Just throwing
Eddie,
that out
you
there.
do not get your stuff from TV, because if TV is to be believed, then you can take a defibrillator, go clear, and bring someone back to life.
You mean you can't do that?
I did that the other day.
No.
I do that like every night.
That is interesting tech support.
You
You're
know.
working with androids, aren't you?
I deal with a lot of Android phones.
Oh, okay, there we go. That would make sense. You're bringing phones back to life.
Indeed. Yeah, we have gotten a little bit off topic here.
We were on topic.
For a little while
What
we
was
were,
the topic?
and then we.
Well,
have
this is just me
completely
realizing that I chose 3 very insubstantial topics. So,
I have a topic. I actually have a
Yeah.
topic if you'd like to talk about it.
okay, bring it.
The fact that Microsoft is no longer charging developers to push updates to their titles on the console.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
This is a big deal, especially for a while
Does
ago.
that
It
mean
was a
Fez is being updated?
I assume it might be. The other big thing that I think is that it may lead to faster Minecraft updates, because I know for a while there that was a complaint that that Notch and the guys at Mojang had about having to do updates on the Xboxes. They had to pay money to push those patches out. If you
I
don't
actually
pay money,
wonder
to
how
push the patches out.
profitable it was for them having to do that as well.
I think the goodwill and ability to actually update and improve games outweighs any monetary gain they were actually getting from pushing the patches out. That'd be my assumption. And honestly, Microsoft needs all the goodwill that they can get at this
well,
point.
I'm talking about profitable for Mojang on Minecraft.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't
Because
profitable.
look, given they patch the PC version fairly often, they also patch the Xbox version fairly often, and it costs tens of thousands of dollars to push those patches out.
Yeah.
So I'd have to assume that really cleaves into the amount of money they were making.
Most likely, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting topic, and I think it's interesting that
Yeah,
This-
with
this
what you said
backped-
on Xbox Live offering the free games, I think that's another thing is they are really hurting with the indie community, given that they won't allow them to self-publish in the
Exactly.
next generation.
so I
it's
think
just another bit of goodwill.
yeah, giving whatever they can up, because they're playing so much catch up with the PS4 and Sony at this point. They have to do it. I mean,
And
they don't really
Nintendo
have a
is back
choice.
playing mustard.
Yeah, they just. I mean, they have.
Nintendo's doing its own thing, and you know what? I really don't grudge Nintendo doing its own thing because it's keeping out of all this garbage.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
I know at some point I'm probably going to get a Wii U. I'm not going to judge Nintendo because with Nintendo, I know I'm going to buy their product eventually. With
Got a
Microsoft and
fanboy
Sony,
here.
with
Fanboy
Microsoft,
alert.
Yeah.
I need to get
with
a fanboy
Microsoft and
alert
Sony,
sound.
I'm going back and forth, going, okay, which one's going to be better? And it's not the whole fanboy alert because Nintendo really got me with some recent decisions.
I know I'm picking on you.
As we do.
Plus,
And
how
then
else
out
am I
of
going to play
nowhere,
my
Sega
Zelda?
releases their own console, and that's why they
Again.
couldn't make Bayonetta.
Again.
Sega releases its own console. I buy it simply to burn it because of their recent stupidity.
So instead of buying it, why don't you just take the money and burn that?
Because burning money is just not as effective.
Yeah.
Because
You're
burning
doing the
money
same
is dumb.
thing.
Yeah. Let's think of a name for a Sega console. It's like they had the last one was the Dreamcast, so would this one with their recent thing with the Shining Force series be the Dream Destroyer?
No, they could call it the Dream Cast-Off.
You know, I was actually thinking of the Cast Dream or the Final something. I don't know.
The final something, the Final Fantasy.
Or maybe the rectal insert.
You
I
know,
think if they would name it Final Fantasy, I think Square Enix would sue somebody.
Yeah, sue somebody. They
Sega
wouldn't be
Fist-
sure who to sue. Like, do we have
you
to
know,
go
Square
after
Enix never
Sega,
are.
or do we sue ourselves? Which I'm actually surprised you haven't
Sega.
seen yet, is someone suing themselves, so you've got the plaintiff and defendant being the same person.
You know, that would be a really interesting Phoenix Wright storyline to see happen. I object!
Fanboy alert! Fanboy alert!
What?
there you go.
This is Phoenix Wright, though, so I'll let it pass. I will be
Phoenix
finding a
Wright
fanboy alert.
Playing
though.
favorites, playing favorites.
Yes, I am. I am a
Phoenix
very
Wright
biased
behind-
judge.
Phoenix Wright would be standing behind the prosecution table, and then, you know, objection, and then, like, run around to the prosecutor's table, and then hold it, and then just run back, objection! I can't keep up!
I just want to point out this is this is your gaming booth Supreme Court right here. If we ever have to do a ruling, just know that this is what we think about.
This is all that it is. Just all of it.
Which actually,
Somebody
you know
yells
what? I bring
objection
up
and
the
then we
gaming
do
booth
something.
Supreme Court. Let's bring it into session for my other topic here. The
Okay.
Sony 4.46 firmware update came out to fix the Sony 4.45 firmware update, noting that the 4.45 update was the one that was causing people's consoles to brick.
Yes.
And my thing
Objection.
here is,
Only
this is
bricked
why
them
I'm-
briefly though.
well, yeah, about a week, which, given I know several people who were afflicted by this, and one of them had no other way to game than their PS3. So
Oh
this is
my.
what I'm bringing them into thing is they have not issued any compensation that I'm aware of yet for the weak outage on these people.
Of course not. Why would they? They've already had to do that once.
Well, that's the thing. Should the one time be enough, or should you have to compensate every time you dick someone over?
I would say every time. Personally,
So
it's
this
my
is
opinion.
where you hear the gavel noise if I actually feel like putting that in.
Hold it!
The court is now in session. Overruled.
Yeah, I didn't have anything anyways.
So yes, should Sony have to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to every brick-worthy firmware update?
I believe that if it is their own fault, then yes. If it is not the fault of the customer that they trusted Sony to actually make a good update.
Justice Markey.
What?
Where did you go? She's not even paying attention.
Justice
I know
Markey
it.
isn't paying attention.
I'm gonna call you Justice Scalia from now on. That joke went over everyone's head. Woohoo! Where did you go?
People who have had their console bricked by the most recent update.
Oh, hell yes.
I love the confidence. Just
That was
yeah!
just fucking ridiculous, and they're so dumb.
Well, we know where
I love how
Justice
you said
Markey
that.
lies.
So, it's the same thing. Like if Microsoft had done the same thing,
Yeah.
If it had completely bricked people's consoles, they should do some type of a trade-in system where it's okay.
Well, no,
if
it-
our update bricked your
Temporarily bricked.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's still something where it is a compensation type thing to make up for the lost time. But if it was a permanent thing,
Yeah.
be like, hey,
I'm
call
saying
up our
free
customer
copies
support.
of,
We're gonna fix it.
Oh yeah, I'd throw out a free game for sure. I'd say that's good
Little
compensation.
Big Planet. Well, they'd probably do a pool because almost everyone owns Little Big Planet. But if you don't
Yeah,
own Little Big Planet, you should own Little Big Planet. Oh, fanboy alert. Yeah.
I don't own a PS3, so it really doesn't matter to me.
Give
Also-
it 3 generations and you'll be able to emulate it easily.
I'll probably just buy a PS3 when the PS4 comes out and don't even worry about the next generation.
Yeah, there you
No.
go.
Idea.
Justice Bubbles.
Uh,
All right, we know where he stands. Justice Eddie. You're going to make this a unanimous court, aren't
By
you?
the way, I rule in favor of the Ouya, so
Oh, okay. We've got 2 votes for payout, 1 vote for Ouya, and 2 uncast votes. What does the
My
Ouya
vote-
vote mean anyway? Does it just Sony buys up a bunch of Ouyas and sends them to the people afflicted?
I have no.
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
I would like to change my vote to the vote for Ouya.
I'm going to say I was afflicted, even though I don't own a PS3, just to get a free Ouya.
Yes.
That's not a thing that should happen.
I'm
The
gonna,
Ouya is a topic for another day.
yeah. For me, I'm going to say no, simply for the fact of if every time a company screwed up, like along these lines, and
Eddie, louder.
I'm gonna say no on the basis of it. Every time a company screwed up along these lines, kinda
They
like
would
how
have to own up to
Xbox
their
Live went-
mistakes.
hang on. Kind of like every time my Xbox Live goes down for a temporary little bit of period
Yes,
or whatever.
but okay, temporary little bit is less than a week.
Still though,
I don't think I've ever seen that happen to the Xbox Live system. I think maybe the most was a day.
And
here's
you have
another
gamers
thing.
Go, I
Coming
want my
from-
system," and shit
Okay,
like that.
now wait. This is also coming from Sony. The Sony that had PlayStation Network down for 2 months, like twice, I believe, because they got hacked. And
Yeah.
there wasn't really much compensation there other than, oh, we're gonna, we halted everybody's PlayStation Network time, so you didn't use up any of it while the system was down.
Well, they actually did give out I think for the first 2 months they gave out a pool of 10 games.
They did,
Which-
and they did their absolute best to try to compensate people because they knew people were pissed.
Yeah, I actually think they did really well in that regard. It's just here they seem to have dropped the ball. But yeah, so I'm getting 1 yes, 1 no, and 3 votes Ouya. That is the court adjourns. We sentenced the Sony to buy a bunch of Ouyas and send them out to all PS3 owners. So I think we just sentenced Ouya to, or no, not Ouya. I think we just
We just
sentenced
sentenced
Sony to
PS3 owners to
bankruptcy.
Ouya.
Well, the other thing is the thing with Sony is that, you know what? All I think of when I think of what just happened with that is if they had been less on the train of wanking themselves to the ends of the earth over the fact that they had supposedly beaten Microsoft at E3 and insulting Microsoft constantly, maybe they would have noticed that their shit was going to brick systems.
Well, I'm not going to say they should have exactly seen the bricking coming, because you can't. It's hard to see that kind of thing going without doing a very a kind of testing that's just unfeasible. But
Yeah.
the fact that they were essentially they were just jerking themselves silly at the thought of how awesome they were doing E3. Like that one
so
video.
You being
wa-
Sony.
Yeah, it was that one video was funny, but at the same time, they do have their own used games concerns that they do not want to elaborate on.
Well, they also have the whole point where what was it? Jack Tretton said, and I quote, "Well, we're not going to do any DRM in our first-party games, but we can't control what third-party dealers do."
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Because they just don't want to talk about that anymore. They're like, oh, we slipped. Backpedal. Look at the Xbox One.
Please,
Leave us
yeah,
alone.
no, look at how bad the Xbox One is, guys. It's really bad, right?